Explain what Enrichment Week is.
Well, as the 10th most deprived school in Essex, our children face many challenges. We had over 1,500 safeguarding disclosures this year from our pupils. And as we know, mental health is a significant problem in the country, and particularly in deprived areas like ours, with 44% of our children being on pupil premium. So therefore, many of our children miss out on opportunities that others from more advantaged schools would do. So what we want to do is try and create an opportunity to break down those barriers. So we've decided to create a week at the end of the school year where families can, if they meet the criteria and complete the forms, take their children away for an enrichment activity in a holiday. Now, lots of people have got caught up in thinking it has to be abroad, but actually on wonderful days like today, where I've travelled in on a train and tube, what an experience for a young person to be able to do that. So there are plenty of opportunities in this country for the young people to go away and enjoy an opportunity.
So when you say you fit the criteria, so there's a few things that they have to meet here. One is attendance for the rest of the year needs to be, is it at 92%?
And above, yeah.
And above. And they also have to, once they're away for a week, the children have to fill out a booklet, if you like, to come back and do a bit of a show and tell afterwards.
Yeah, it has to be spiritual, moral, social or cultural. So that's really important to us. And then the parents need to list what activities they're going to do. When they go away with their booklet, they're based around the English baccalaureate subjects, so English, Maths, Humanities, MFL. And depends on where you go, it depends on what you need to complete, but they're tasks. So it might be how to do, if you're going in Europe, how you're going to use euros, how you're going to exchange rate. If you're going to historical places, how would that work? What would you complete? And then when you come back for the second week, which is the last week of our school term, then you're going to present to your peers about what you've done, what you've learned, and how you've enriched yourselves.
What happens if they come back and they haven't completed the booklet?
That wouldn't happen, would it? Because our young people know how important it is to pursue excellence and seize opportunities, so they would do exactly what they need to do.
I mean, a lot of people would be saying, well, the whole point in other schools not doing this is because they say that if you miss out on that part of the curriculum, then it messes up everything for everybody else. So how come your school's OK to do this and nobody else is?
Because it's about our context. We had over 200 holiday applications this year during the school year that were outside this week. So families are taking these children away. I've had another email this morning saying we've had a last-minute opportunity, we're taking our child away.
And you do fine people? We
are the second highest finers in Essex, and this lady on the email this morning said, I accept I'm going to get fined. So she's factored it into her costs, that it's more cost efficient for her to take her family away than it is for actually her to miss out on a holiday. But it is around the mental health. We have so many deprived families in our area and our community that actually this is about spending time together as a family and away from the stresses and strains of living where you live and under pressure. And given that young people are going to be facing over 30 exams as the exam system changed, the mental health, I understand it was 500,000 under-16s referred to the NHS last year for mental health issues.
So, bearing in mind, and we've covered this so much on this show, the head teachers and the schools and the local councils who say you cannot, and the government who say you cannot take a week off because it is disruptive and it will affect the child's education. Okay. You're saying if it's the right week, then that's rubbish?
Absolutely, because it's disruptive to take them out in November, January, February, etc. What we're saying is during this week we create a curriculum in school, which means that if you're in, it's great and you can work and do a range of activities. If you're not there, then you've not missed out on your core subjects, etc. So we've worked around the system to try and make sure that our young people aren't.
And people save a fortune as well. We'll go to Hannah now. She's in Suffolk.
Hi,
she was in Doha in Qatar for 2 weeks. But she's got her children who are boys aged 3 and 7, missed 4 days. But you asked, did you ask for 3?
Our school allows 3 days, which they didn't accept. So we took 2 days before the half term, 2 days after the half term, and still got fined for that extra 1 day.
And the problem, you find it frustrating because there seems to be no consistency within the borough, really, because your sister is in Norfolk and she's across the road and her school allows 5 days. So it just seems slightly unfair, doesn't it, somehow?
Yeah, I don't understand how, like you say, she's 20 minutes up the road in Norfolk, we're in Suffolk, and they allow 5 days. We only have 3. And I think it should be based on each individual child's attendance. Because my son's not had a day off in as long as I remember, and he's never been late a day in his life. So I feel like to get fined for that 1 extra day just seems really unfair.
But you say it was £1,000 cheaper to go when you did, and you'd absolutely do it again.
Absolutely, definitely. I just think time with family is so much more important. And I agree with what the head teacher said. So while we were away, he actually achieved a badge with the Beaver Scouts, and it was for learning a different language and trying different foods. And yeah, so it was really educational as well.
Thank you, Hannah. Well, Gemma, actually, who we talked to in Turkey, she said her little boy made friends with the Dutch boy and learnt basic words so that he could talk to him. And when you listen to stories like that, and provided that it's not a case of going and lying on the beach, but also the prices that these people are saving here. When we talked before, it would have been £3,000, but they paid £600. And so why not pay the £240 fine?
And that's what we're facing. But many of our families genuinely need this time away as a group to spend that time with their mental health issues. And I think we get caught up a little bit in looking at the finances, and I completely understand the constraints on the families and the disruption it causes to schools when pupils are taken out during the term time. But it needs to be, for our school, in our school context, a week that fits in with what we're trying to do and works for our family. So we're reducing that deprivation.